Today we're back with some more Officer Tatum. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the video in the comments. All right, and with that said, let's get into it.
What's your race?
I'm biracial. That's real funny.
What did that mean?
You just said
Biracial.
that your son
Okay.
is biracial.
What's your mix?
I'm Hispanic
And what?
and white.
Okay, so you go by white?
I go by mixed.
So why is Obama black then?
Well, I mean, I'm also Hispanic. I'm white and Hispanic. There's multitudes.
But you're mixed, you're not just Hispanic.
Let's get back to the
Would you be
issue.
the first Hispanic, whatever?
I mean,
If you feel like it?
whatsoever.
So are you Hispanic?
Can we get back to the?
No. Will you qualify for minority benefits?
So you said that the United
Would you
States.
qualify for minority benefits?
So no, because I'm not. No.
Why not?
Okay, so
You're Hispanic.
So you said that the United States is not a racist country. However, the dominant social order imposes that white has to be pure, which you acknowledge comes from the United States. Which is
You
not
are
a racist
perpetuating
country.
that, not me.
But we're not a racist country, like you said.
Do you believe there's things in this country you can do that I can't do?
Yes.
Name it.
Statistically, if
No. You can do that I can't do.
oh well, then nothing. However, we kind of are dealing with lots of numbers and people. If we were both owning houses in a similar neighborhood, and I tried to sell my house and you tried to sell your house, my house would statistically be valued higher than yours
That's a theory.
because I have lighter skin than you.
What house do you live in?
Because I have lighter skin than you.
How big is your house?
I don't. I'm sorry.
How big is your house?
I have no comments on that. That's not important. That's a non sequitur.
It's not.
How is
Is
that
your
not
house bigger
important?
than mine?
If we had similar houses in a similar neighborhood and we both tried to sell our houses, statistically, my house would be valued higher than yours because you have darker skin than me.
According to who?
I'm sorry.
According to who?
The skin color, or
If you were working at a bank and you were giving out loans, would you give out a loan to a white man and not a black man?
that's what redlining is. You donuts.
All right, let me explain redlining. Let me explain redlining for you guys.
Oh, wow. Listen to, and I'm not making fun, but I could have sworn at the beginning that was a dude. The way she's dressed, did you see the way she dressed? So you know she is part of the LGBTQ. And no, let's look. All right, we're gonna go back. Look at the way she's dressed, like a straight dude. So you already know she's on the left. We already know that just by the question and her answers. We already know.
Let me explain redlining for you guys. I was trying to make a point there. It was kind of comical. However, this is a really good book for you to read as well. Thomas Sowell wrote a book called Discrimination and Disparities, right? Just because there's disparity don't necessarily mean that there's discrimination. I can go down the list. Do you think that school districts are discriminating against men? No, they're not. Women just decide to work in schools more so than men do. Do you think that the NFL is discriminating against white men? No, it isn't. It just so happened that black people, athleticism plays a role in black people playing in sports in the NFL. That does not mean because there's a disparity that there's discrimination. Now, redlining. I did my research on redlining. There is no unequivocal proof that the reason why loans were given or not given is just because people were black. So in theory, this is pretty much what it's supposed to be. That certain areas in our country, banks would not allow or they would not give certain loans to certain areas, right? Because of multitude of reasons. Whether it's a dangerous area, they wouldn't give mortgages to dangerous areas that are run down, all of the above. And just so happened in some of these areas, they were minority areas. Mm-hmm. Now, people take that and say the banks were racist. But if you look at the institutions, the bank institutions, if they had higher qualifications or unrealistic qualifications for black people, unlike white people, then you would see that the rate of not being able to pay your loan, right? If the defaulting on your loan and different things like that, you would see it being higher amongst whites and not blacks if they had extra qualifications for blacks. And that's not what happened. Now, I don't know if it was racist or not. I don't believe that it was because I don't believe there's a correlation. Look at the black banks and look at the white banks. Black banks rejected black people at the same rate or higher than white banks did. Where's the correlation? Where's the outcry on that? And so moving forward, the idea from one side says that they only did this because they were black. On another side, they had ramifications for people not taking care of their communities, not having good credit, and the like. So you have the two factions that have a difference of opinion. And you go to move forward and you say, how does redlining affect black people today? You know, I grew up in a black neighborhood, and many people who talk about this subject have never lived in a black neighborhood. It's not about redlining that I saw or anything that had anything to do with the government, the reason why black communities were suffering so much. It was culture and personal responsibility. There's no law that makes you not graduate from high school. That's a personal decision. There's no government law that thrusts you into selling drugs in your community. That's a personal decision. Unfortunately, black people, in my opinion, in these inner cities have adopted this culture that's destructive. And this has really no relevance. Now, let me give you an example of how I think that the overcorrection of what they call redlining, and this is what they do every time, caused the crash of the market. Because in, I guess, protest to redlining, they now gave non-discriminate loans to people who did not qualify. And what happened?
That's going to hurt them in the long run.
We had a whole crash of the system.
Yep.
Black people were not defaulting on their loans at a higher rate.
Wasn't that was that Obama's first presidential run with the houses and the loans? I can't remember too well. If you guys remember, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure that was Obama's first or second run. I'm pretty sure. Let me know in the comments.
Rate than we've ever seen in history. And that's because they focus on race and we should be focusing on results. If you don't have a high credit score, you should not be able to get a particular loan. There's a lot of other things that are factored into this. Larry Elder wrote a really good piece. Tommy Sowell obviously wrote a really good piece. They both are very similar in their thought process here. They don't answer a lot of questions that go along with the behaviors of different people, right? They go, well, they give loans to white people at a better interest rate than they give to black people. What they don't ask the question of is that, are they equal in their financial situation? If you look at statistical data, white people have 30% more savings than black people do. When you go to get a loan, if you know anything about loans, they look at how much liquid funds you have. They look at what you have in your savings. They look at how much money you make. And then you have to negotiate. Are black people negotiating to get a better interest rate? Or are they just taking the first thing that they get? All of these things are questions that need to be answered before you articulate that redlining is the problem and the banks are discriminating against black folks.
Thomas Sowell, Larry Elder, those are all the guys I follow too. Shout out to Officer Tatum, man. Shout out to him, man. But it's just like you're saying, it's just like that's exactly what they were doing. They were giving loans to the minorities that didn't deserve the loans. And I remember, because I was seeing so many homes being on foreclosure, and I was like, what in the world was going on? So we're giving people loans that didn't deserve the loans, and then after a while, you know, they couldn't keep up and pay the mortgage. Remember, you got to pay that. So that's like Officer Tatum said. They was giving them people the loans that didn't deserve the loans. They didn't have the qualification to get those loans. And that's what happened with the whole market that crashed. I remember that happening. Because everywhere I looked, I was seeing foreclosures. I'm like, why is everybody moving? Until I look into it, and that's when I realized what was really going on. Well, that's like the lady at the beginning. She couldn't give a good example of what she could do that Officer Tatum couldn't do. You know, she couldn't give a good explanation. She went straight to, oh, if I was selling my house. She couldn't answer it. If that's not liberal, I don't know what is. Oh, I had so many. I remember in high school when the white teachers would talk to us and tell us. They would tell us things about life, and they would tell us stay out of trouble, stay away from kids that's doing drugs. Don't give us so much. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to. And the school I went to, the majority of the teachers were white. But they would talk to us like we were their kids. So what is all this so-called racism at? Like, I just don't get it. People that pick and choose certain things that happen and they blow the whole thing out of proportion. I honestly believe that's what they do. Cause I have some of the coolest white teachers that you will ever imagine having. And they'll always take their neck out to help us out. Always did. So all of a sudden, racism is just the biggest thing ever. The race baiting is just on another level. And I totally agree, man. In certain areas, you wouldn't want to invest or give loans out in certain areas that you know is high crime, You know, there's violence because you want to get back that payment, but they got the interest with it. They said that what happened with the Walmart. Walmart's getting looted. People stealing. Eventually, they're going to move up because they're not making any money. They're not making any profit. What you want that business to do? And you look at some of these black communities, how it's run down. There's so much violence. And then the program, and people say it's not a culture thing. So you let me know what it is, because a lot of black people that I knew, and you see it happening, they're only concerned that they get a little bit of money. Like Officer Tatum was saying. But he didn't say this part, but this, I know what he was trying to go with it, that we buy the most expensive things. Like we weren't satisfied with $100 shoe. Or maybe $150. No, we want a $450 shoe. The white boys, I ain't gonna lie, I was part of that crowd. I'm not gonna lie. In high school, I wanted the nice sneakers and nice clothes. I would see these white kids come to school looking like, bro, are your parents poor? Not realizing their parents are just buying them the cheap stuff. Bank account, nice house. Because we're young, we didn't think like that. But now as you get older and you look back, I'm like, wow, it does make sense. Because look at all these celebrities. And that's what they use these rappers for. The latest fashion, the latest designs. And look how much it's costing now. Kids these days talking about they want to go to school with $400, $500 sneakers. And they flashing. Not realizing, like Officer Tatum said, banks don't care about the clothes you got. They're looking at that account. What's coming in there? What's in that savings? There's a lot goes on to the whole process of getting the loan, and people don't understand that. So when they get denied, the first thing they pull, oh, it's racism. I couldn't get the loan because I'm black. No, it's a process of things that they look into. And I'm pretty sure when you get denied, they tell you why you was denied. I'm pretty sure. But let me know the question. I'm probably going to look up after I get off of here about the whole house market crashing. I believe that was during Obama's first or second run. I'm going to look after I get off of here. But if you guys know, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the video in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, subscribe. All right? And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. You guys have a blessed day.